Tom Petty. Midnight Classic CDs coming up in 20 minutes. Rory Gallagher's Irish Tour 74, the great Irish blues rock guitarist who passed away 5 years ago today. And before we hear it, we'll also hear comments from a couple people. One, a member of a Rory Gallagher fan group on the internet, and the other, a musician who opened and toured with Rory in Europe. Let's hear.
Hi, Vic and all. This is Dr. Craig Stamm. I'm a scientist in the bioanalytical lab of Mylan Pharmaceuticals in Morgantown, West Virginia. And first, I'd like to thank Vic for playing Irish Tour. Consummate performer. He underwent this strange transformation from a shy Irish guy to a hurricane blues rocker as he hit the stage. He was just amazing. Irish Tour 74 is probably one of the most single enjoyable albums of Rory's and of all time because it covers so many of his aspects. It's just superb. It stands the test of time, and it always will. And it's a great thing that Vic's doing this, playing this album, Irish Tour 74, and sharing it with you. After all, Rory's a very personal part of a few of us' life, and he was never meant for the masses. This is not pop music, but it is the heart and soul of blues and rock, with an edge, not the fluffiness.
KZOK FM.
Stevie Guitar Miller from the Book of Dreams, KZOK FM, the classic rock station.
It's midnight, and welcome to the KZOK FM Midnight Classic CD.
Tonight it's Rory Gallagher Irish Tour 1974. I wanted to play this album because, one, it's been one of my all-time favorites forever, and two, it was 5 years ago today that Rory passed away at the age of 48 following complications from a liver transplant. A fellow who knew him and toured with him is Barry McCabe, a guitarist from Ireland. I got the comments of Barry, and we'll hear a moment of that before we head into the album. The KZOK Midnight Classic CD, Irish Tour 74.
Still the most energetic performer that I've ever seen. In the style of Bruce Springsteen, I suppose, for your American listeners. You know, that energy, that power, that commitment, very long shows, 2.5, 3 hours, 3.5 hours were more the norm than the exception. It was an experience. People walked away from a Rory show thinking, I've really seen something. And Irish Tour 74, even though it's a record and you play it over the airwaves, I think still your listeners will probably get a very good impression of what he was like. And when you listen to that record, you think to yourself, gosh, wouldn't it have been great to have been there?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rory Gallagher.
You're listening to Irish Tour 74 from Rory Gallagher, the KZOK Midnight Classic CD.
Thank you very much.
A Million Miles Away, the title of that one of his greatest tracks. Irish Tour 74 from Rory Gallagher. This is the KZOK FM Midnight Classic CD. Back in a moment.
Seattle, it's the big one!
KZOK FM, the Midnight Classic CD is Rory Gallagher, Irish Tour 74. Before we got into the album, I played you some comments from a fellow named Barry McCabe, who is a guitarist, has his own band over in Ireland, the BMC Band, and had the privilege of opening for Rory Gallagher on a tour. And I got Barry's remarks regarding touring with Rory and Rory Gallagher's influence.
Yes, indeed. With my band, we did get the opportunity to open a tour for him in Europe. And in fact, we opened the first show in Paradiso. It's a very famous club in Amsterdam. It's where the Rolling Stones did part of the Stripped album. And even to play there alone would have been amazing. But to be there in front of Rory is, well, schoolboy's dream come true, obviously, isn't it?
So you were a fan. You've been a fan for a long time with Rory Gallagher.
A long, long time. The first record I ever bought was Rory's Live in Europe in 1972. And by the time Irish Tour 74 came around, I was a diehard fan. And in fact, I'm one of the people screaming on that record. I was at that concert.
Yes, sir. How about that?
Yeah, I've been into Rory for a long, long time. Rory basically shaped my whole life, because from having discovered his music, I decided to go off and make playing music my way of life as well. So basically followed in his footsteps. So to me, he was, I always felt he was a bit like an older brother.
We turn the lights down low and have a party on the patio. It's summertime, and that means party.